County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting of August the 26th. At this time, we'll ask everyone to introduce themselves so our constituents will know who's working for them in the county. We'll start at that end.
Thank you. Bridget Doherty, I'm working the public Zoom.
Leslie Hervey, Assistant to the Clerk.
Alicia Reese, Vice President of the Hamilton County Commission.
I'm County Commissioner Denise Driehaus.
County Administrator Jeff Aludo.
Thank you all so much. I am Stephanie Summerall Dumas, President of the Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners. And we will begin our meeting, as we always do, with a silent prayer. And then if you could please stand when we're finished for the Pledge of Allegiance. I would just ask, as we have our silent prayer, that you pray for the human tragedies that are across this world, which are done by the hands of men, human, I don't mean just men, but women too, but the hands of our human race that are causing tragedies in our land and in the world. And also the global tragedies that we're dealing with as it relates to the environment and the tragedies that have beside the environmental issues. So if you would take a moment of prayer. Thank you. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous session.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Driehaus.
Yes.
Thank you. And we have a presentation today. And our presentation is proclaiming September 2021 as National Preparedness Month. Did you want to speak? You're not supposed to speak. We're going to honor you, but go on.
Well,
Nick Krause is our Director of Emergency Management. You're welcome to speak, Nick.
Oh, thank you. So we do this every year. So September for many years now, working across the nation, is National Preparedness Month, where nationally, we just try to highlight and remind people of the hazards that they face. So for example, I got the usual call yesterday after the Waverly, Tennessee flooding incident that destroyed a lot of homes down in Tennessee. Could that happen here? And I reminded the reporter from the local news outlet about 2016, March of 2016, when we had the overland flooding, where we had some impacts to Norwood, St. Bernard, the city of Cincinnati, and pretty dramatic that we had basically 4 inches of rain dumped on that part of our community in an hour. And it was really similar effects in that it was overland urban flooding. And the difference being here, the reason that we didn't have houses blown off is because it filled up a lot of basements. I don't know if you remember, I know you were on the commission then. Jeff heard me many times talk about it. And so we got in this conversation about hazards that we face. Could it happen here? And I said, could that happen? That would be very rare to see that kind of wholesale destruction of homes. But we have that impacts, we have wind events, we have the pandemic, we have all these things that there are ways for people to be prepared. So we're going to use this month to try to get the word out, remind people that it's a joint responsibility. So the government works hard. We work with all 49 jurisdictions in Hamilton County, as well as county government, to help them be prepared. And then it's a responsibility of residents to understand the hazards they face and be prepared to receive the warnings that they need and how they're going to respond to them and how to mitigate the impacts. And a great way to do that is through insurance, whether it be renter's insurance or homeowners or whatever other kind of business insurance, whatever kind it is, it's being prepared in that way. And so we use this month. We also do we're doing a huge emergency operations center exercise on September 17th. And then the next day I leave for 10 days of vacation. But then, and also when I get back, we're doing our annual community meeting where we get together with all of our communities. We talk about the risks and the hazards. And we're really targeting the administrative leaders, the public safety leaders, to talk about what hazards do we face and how do we jointly deal with those hazards. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be an active month. And again, this is just our opportunity working with you to declare National Preparedness Month for Hamilton County.
Thank you so much, Nick. And we certainly did not want to miss the opportunity. It's actually in September, but it's always good to be prepared and do it now. And so I would like to open it up to my colleagues if they have any comments before I read the proclamation and then go forward to take a picture with Nick. So Vice President Reese.
I just want to say, once again, good job. And the thing about Nick, he is always prepared. He knows this is our last meeting in August and he's prepared. He says, let's get this resolution done in advance. But just want to really, on a serious note, thank you. You always keep us updated and keep the community informed as it relates to safety. You're always on top of it and also well respected around the country where people can touch base with you. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, I want to echo my thanks to you and your team. And one thing that you didn't mention, I think is obviously to your credit, is that you have also reached out to all 49 jurisdictions and tried to get them in a space where they are also prepared at their local level so that we're prepared more generally at the county level, and had an exercise that you did and had them, answer some questions as to how prepared they were. So you're doing a great job. Your team's doing a great job, and I'm glad that we're recognizing the work.
Thank you.
Thank you. And he did not mention, because it's about your credentialing that happened with EMA, and that is no small feat. And you led the helm to allow it to happen. And it was the first time that it's ever happened in Hamilton County. So I thank you for that. And the proclamation, I'd like to read that. The proclamation recognizes September 2021 as National Preparedness Month in Hamilton County. And I won't read it all, but whereas National Preparedness Month creates an important opportunity for every resident, employee, and visitor in Hamilton County to become educated and informed about threats and hazards they may impact the county, thus equipping them to become better able to prepare their homes, businesses, and communities against a disaster or emergency, which is what you indicated, Nick. And whereas investing in the preparedness and education of ourselves, families, and business and jurisdictions can reduce fatalities and economic devastation in our communities. And I'll just go down. Whereas Hamilton County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency is working to increase public awareness of disasters and emergency preparedness by hosting, as you said earlier, partners in preparedness. Whereas Hamilton County Emergency Management and Homeland Security Agency is conducting a test of the Emergency Operations Center to demonstrate our ability to coordinate the response to large-scale emergencies. And now therefore be it proclaimed that on behalf of all residents and community members of Hamilton County, this board does hereby proclaim September 2021 as National Preparedness Month in all of Hamilton County. And we encourage all our residents and businesses and communities to develop their own preparedness plans and to sign up for emergency notification system Alert Hamilton County by the order of the Hamilton County Commissioners, and it's signed by all of us. And I also want to indicate that Nick was so creative that we're using an alert system to alert people of the resources that we have available for housing and for just small businesses, housing, everything that we're doing. We're trying to figure out how to reach out. We have the bus that's going around, which is great. We're going to get business cards with the resources on the back, but I just appreciate, Nick, your creative thinking about how we can use that system that's already set up to reach more people. And so I just want to thank you for that. So that will be it for our proclamation. We'd like to come and take a picture with you.
Quentin's in the best spot.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. Right here, real fast. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Let me get one. 1, 2, 3.
One more. That's the best count.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Okay, we will move forward. We have public comments as the next item on our agenda. I have one card here. Derek Blassingame.
I appreciate the opportunity. Derek Blaskin, Governor.
And
Marshall.
Derek, yeah, I was getting ready. Let me say how many minutes you have. And so you have 2 minutes, and we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
All right, Derek Blasingame. Now, Madam President, you just said that there's opportunities for housing in Hamilton County. I came back to Cincinnati in 2018 looking for opportunities. I could have stayed in Atlanta, Georgia. It's booming. Georgia is like, I mean, the economy is just off the chain. Buildings on every block. The city of Atlanta is thriving. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is doing an exceptional job as the mayor of that city. I could have stayed there, and I could have went through my season and my struggle there. But you said there's housing opportunities, but I've been intermittently homeless in this county since 2018 off and on. I've applied for 1,400 jobs in Hamilton County since 2019. I lost my job in last January, and I haven't been able to find opportunities in this city. Where is the opportunities for Black people in this city who don't have any criminal records that preclude them from employment opportunities and housing opportunities in Hamilton County? Now, I'm going to hold you to the fire in your leadership to bring the resources to the people. You claim that you're doing all these arts and crafts to get the information out to the people, but you're not getting them to the people who need them the most. Where are the resources and the options and the opportunities in this city? The other thing I want to talk to you all about is I heard that we spent about $16 million with the stadium, but only $1,000 go to Black businesses. What are you doing, Ms. Dumas? What are you doing to help those African-American bidders who are not getting contracts in this county still? $1,000 out of $16 million is a travesty of justice in the 21st century. We need to do better. And Ms. Driehaus, I'm nominating you to run for mayor. I've watched your leadership publicly. You need to run for the city of Cincinnati, the mayor. I think you're going to be a great candidate, and you have my wholehearted support and my efforts. And let me tell you something. You don't know who my mother is. Her name is Yvonne Blassingame. People have an opinion about her. The church has an opinion about her. She gave you all faith. You don't know my grandparents, Lafayette and Mary Blassingame. So if homelessness is all you all got, bring it on.
So have you checked the resources that we have available to be able to get jobs and to get housing? Okay. Well, you know, hold on, your 2 minutes are up. I just wanted to approach you that we did pass a resolution to have navigators. Now, those navigators are the people that will walk you through what your needs are. And so be it housing, be it employment, be it if you had a small business or you wanted to start one, we have navigators through the United Way. And I would suggest that you call 211.
I've done that.
Okay.
Several times.
Okay.
I've called your office as well when it was freezing cold and I needed somewhere to go, and you didn't even call me back. I sent you 2 emails and I left you voice messages. You didn't call me back. And it's no reflection on you. Madam President, you need to get some fire.
Okay, so
Stop being political. You're not Denise Driehaus. Be Stephanie Dumas. Be a Black woman.
Hold on.
Get some
Now,
fire.
if you want answers, I can give you those. And I think you don't want the answers because they're okay, that's enough. Well, do it on your own, but we have people that we have people that can help you, and we would like to help you if you want help. Okay, all right, that's enough. Okay, you're welcome. So, and I'm really proud of how we have been doing the things as it relates to addressing your needs and everyone else's needs, and sometimes some people fall in the cracks. And but I will say, I think your time is up. Okay, your time is up, sir. Thank you. And so, and whenever I get a call, that's one of my pet peeves, that people need to be called back or emailed or whatever. And so I don't believe that everything that's said is the truth. But we'll move forward from there. And I know there are many resources, many people that are out there, many agencies that are there to help whoever's listening, and also to help you. So if people want to do it on their own, that's fine. But I think the process can get started even quicker if you get somebody to navigate you through. Okay, so we'll move forward. Do I have anybody on the Zoom?
No public comments on the Zoom.
Okay, thank you very much. So what we'll do, our next order of business is comments and motions. Commissioner Reese.
Madam President, I know we have a long agenda of items. I'd like to reserve mine to the end of the meeting, if
Okay.
possible. Thank you.
Very good. Mhm. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. I just have a couple of things. One is I just wanted to recognize the ribbon cutting that happened this morning, actually, in the city of Montgomery, about their roundabout. The county had a part to play in there, and I won't go into details, but was happy to join the celebration and all of the development that's happening up in Montgomery. They've worked really hard in partnership, and it really is impressive. It's a little hard to navigate, but we all made it there safely. The second one is a resolution, and I've distributed to the offices and to the clerk. It is a resolution supporting local efforts to resettle Afghan refugees and declaring Hamilton County as a welcoming community. I'm not going to ask for a vote on this today if we're not comfortable, because I know this was short timing. But as you know, there is a deadline in Afghanistan for trying to get Americans and the Afghan allies out of that country who face a very dangerous situation. And so I was approached by Compass, who is a local organization who tries to do our best in welcoming people that are refugees to this community, helping them find housing and employment. And so they approached me and said, would you be willing to offer a statement or a resolution from the county commissioners about Afghan refugees, in addition to the larger question about refugees? And I said I would bring it in front of the board, but we're going to have a longer, more in-depth conversation about this in a couple of weeks. I've asked your office about an item for a staff agenda related to Compass and some of the work that they're doing, and maybe the county involvement in that. And so this is, it's a little secondary to that, but it's along the same lines. So I wanted to put it in front of everybody. It is a dire situation. I don't know, on the way back from the Montgomery event, I heard about the bombing over at the airport in Afghanistan. So people are desperately trying to get out of that country, that fear that they will suffer reprisals for helping the United States after we have left that country. So anyway, wanted to put it in front of everybody. I'm obviously comfortable passing this today, but I understand that with the late notice, that might not be something that everybody's comfortable with. So in that case, I would ask that it be held until our staff meeting, or it's our next staff meeting in the beginning of September, so that this can be on that agenda for further consideration.
Thank you. And it's certainly worthy of discussion. And so we will take it to our next staff meeting, if that's okay with you. We did get the information late, as you were saying, but it is worthy of discussion. We're certainly added on the agenda. I also attended a ribbon cutting this morning at Lower Price Hill. They will be developing 47 affordable housing apartments. It was just really an exciting time. They've been working on this for 5 years. And it's now come to fruition, the ribbon cutting, and they're hoping that within a year that they will have those apartments up. So just really excited to be there. And it was just a great occasion. A lot of people in the community had worked, a lot of partners. And so we were there to acknowledge that process. So I won't belabor either, because we do have a lot to cover. So I'm going to go to Jeff Aludo, our administrator, who has several by leaves also.
Thank you, Madam President. I do have several by leaves, as you noted. I will skip my any comments for today because there are multiple by leaves here. So by leave number 1 in your packet, it relates to resolution number P088-21. This is accepting one purchase order of Hamilton County and authorizing its execution and relief on behalf of the Department of Administration. This is for $107,000, and this relates to the purchasing of 900 Microsoft Office licenses for the expansion of Microsoft Office. And we typically would have put this, would have been on the agenda for next week. We're in summer session, however, and the license deadline is September 1. So we want to get that purchase order done in due time. So the administration recommends approval.
Thank you. Any discussion as it relates to by leave 1? I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 1.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. By leave number 2 is a resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into an agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and Cincinnati Bell Technology Solutions and Avaya. This is $1.22 million to support the overall expansion and upgrade of the county's phone system. Andy Knapp is here from telecommunications, who can fill in the gaps here. But as the board has been aware from past discussion, the phone system in the county, the general phone system, has not been upgraded in some time. The capabilities, the capacity, especially when we went to remote work, the deficiency of the current phone system was made more than evident. This will help us both make the existing system more robust and add capabilities to the phone system needed for modern remote work scenarios, et cetera. So I don't know, Andy, if you want to add in anything on this.
Thanks, Jeff, and good afternoon, Commissioners. The only thing I would add to that is that as we continue down this path of mitigating the COVID incident that we all face each and every day, our public health department specifically has shortcomings as it relates to the telephone systems that we have available to us to continue to do the work of the county to the extent that we are gravely concerned. And I've had a couple of memos since I've been in my position, and no particular fault of anyone, it's always been a budget issue because it's a very expensive project and a very expensive platform that we maintain. This is a complete overhaul of the entire voice telephony platform that will touch literally every office within the county. It's much needed. Some of the components date back to the mid to late 90s. Probably one of the most recent upgrades was in 2004. And nonetheless, we are at a point we have to do something, and it's very difficult to do for just one department and not having them be able to integrate with the rest of them. So that is really the sense of the issue that we have, is that we have the need to mitigate the COVID-19 event in addition to our public health department needs to continue to operate.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear about it because it is a antiquated system, and so that'll help every department to communicate better. So I'll open it up. Any comments?
The only thing, Madam President, I just want to say, I'm a witness. Yes, it needs to be upgraded.
Okay, Commissioner Dreehouse. Okay. Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 2.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners, and thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
By leave number 3 is an exception to Article 2, Section 206 of the construction of structure over sewer policy at Cintas Center. So this is a resolution that authorizes an exception to Section 206 to allow a structure over a sewer. Just a bit of history on this. Back in 1999, with the construction of the Cintas Center, the board approved an exception to Section 206 of MSD's rules, which ultimately allowed for the construction of Cintas Center over a public sewer with the necessary agreements also to ensure that there was access to that sewer if there was an emergency situation, et cetera. So with the addition that Cintas Center is going through, that will also require a similar waiver. It's essentially the same waiver, just applied to the addition. And I'm informed that in this case as well, there are new easements that have been put in place to allow access to that combined sewer if in fact there were a failure or an emergency as well. MSD has worked, has recommended this. The county team has looked at it, recommended. I know it's been through the prosecutor's office as well. I think you also have a schematic in front of you that shows the plans for the addition as well as the existing Cintas Center building. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Also, I know Jack and Lauren are here from MSD. Happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you so much. Vice President Reese? No question. Commissioner Dreehouse?
I do have a question.
Okay.
So can I have you better explain what are the challenges when something is built over one of these lines? I've had a couple constituent calls about this, about buildings being built over sewer lines.
Hold on for a second, Commissioner Dreehouse. If you could, whoever's phone is going off, if you could either silence it, put it on vibrate, or go outside, that would be great. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, in a couple different instances, people have asked, if they can build over MSD pipes, and I've gotten mixed responses to that. So this, I'm not opposed to this. I just am wondering what the challenges are. Is it access to the line if something were to happen, or somehow a compromise of the pipe if something is built on top?
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you for having this item on your agenda today for by leave. I'm Jack Rennekamp with the Metropolitan Sewer District. Thank you for having me today. And with me is Lauren DeGaricia as well as Stephen Parker. Stephen is with our Development Services section of our engineering division. He could probably answer the technical question better than I can. And so I'm going to ask Steve if he can provide that.
The considerations that we look at when a structure is proposed over the sewer, one, I mean, it's going to be structurally sound in their design. So they have proven to us that, you know, they are spanning their engineering has taken all the loads off the sewer. They expand our sewer. They have provided an easement around Centos Center. They have designed a sewer to go around Centos Center. They provided a bond, you know, for the sewer in case it were to fail. So we look at accessibility, the constructability, and then, you know, I'd say the direct impacts to our sewer. And in this case, they've done everything that they could do to eliminate all those issues that we would have with it.
Let me follow up. So yeah, I'm ready to support this specific project, but so in the future, if there are questions related to this, are you the person that should be contacted over at MSD? Are you the one doing the
I do handle a lot of
evaluation?
these questions from
Okay,
different developers and different homeowners.
okay. Because I get this question every now and again in my, I don't know if the other two commissioners get these, but I never know how to answer this question as to whether or not there is a problem with somebody
Yeah.
building over a sewer line. So I will be happy to get your information and share that with folks as they have these questions.
Sure.
Thank you.
And before we depart, commissioners, I just wanted to apprise you that generally under this section of MSD's rules and regulations, we generally prohibit having structures over sewers unless the board makes an exception. You know, the requester petitions the board and then the board makes a decision if this is in the best interest of the sewer district. That's the general overall workflow process. It's Stephen and his cohorts in development services in our engineering division who maintain that process and manage the workflow. And so, yes, you're correct, Commissioner Driehaus. He's the one to direct these items to.
Can I ask one more question? I think the answer is probably going to be super obvious, but is this infrequent because most of the sewers are running under streets or public right of ways, as opposed to where someone would be building a building?
I'm glad you asked that question because I did research on our legislative initiatives in this regard. And since 2006, when this particular section was a little bit, it was adopted in 2001, but it was modified a bit. There have only been a few, and a few meaning less than 12.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not frequent, but it does occur. And it's dependent upon the development needs of the particular requester.
Okay, thank you.
And before I go, one more thing. I wanted to introduce you to Lauren DiGaricia. Lauren is going to be replacing me after nearly 40 years of public service. In 2023, I'll be leaving the city. And I've been your legislative liaison and legislative manager from MSD for 20 years. So I think I'm the longest tenured person to hold this job.
Wow.
I brought Lauren in and training her. She's been with MSD before and in a different capacity. And so I think she's fully qualified to serve you and to prepare the legislative needs that your board has for our various items.
Well, thank you so much. Yes. Lauren, did you want to say something?
No, just that I look forward to working together. Obviously, I have big shoes to fill, but yes.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. And I just want to mention, as Commissioner Driehaus had talked about the structure over sewer and the expertise of whether or not that should be done will be dependent on Stephen and his expertise to bring it to us. And that also we will evaluate the fact that it was brought, because as you were saying, Jack, it's very rare that this happens. So we have great people that have experience in that area, and we'll be dependent on them to bring us the right information. So thank you so much.
Madam President.
Yes.
Jack, is this your last meeting? I just want to say publicly how much I have appreciated your willingness to answer all of our questions, and your expertise and affability have been much appreciated from this side of the dais.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's not my last meeting.
I
I'll still
didn't
be
think it
here,
was.
but I'm going to be deferring to Lauren to take the lead at times and present items to you and provide additional explanation when you ask questions.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we certainly will prepare something for you to show our appreciation. So thank you so much. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 3.
Second,
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Next is by leave number 4. This is a resolution relating to our grant agreement with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for the state's targeting community alternatives to prison grant program. So as the board is aware, the Targeting Community Alternatives to Prison, or Tcap, grant program is a grant program through ODRC that provides revenues to county governments for keeping nonviolent offenders local and managing those offenders locally, as opposed to sending them into the state prison system. So this program started a couple of years ago and targeted felony 5, nonviolent, non-sex offender, felony 5 offenders. This new grant agreement expands that to felony 4 offenders and provides us additional grant dollars. I think in total around $1.6 million over a 2-year period of additional grant money. So essentially what that means is by accepting this grant, felony 4 nonviolent offenders would be kept local as put into treatment programs and other sorts of monitoring programs locally, as opposed to into the state prison system. The sheriff has signed off. The presiding judge of the Common Police Court has signed off as well. The board needs to execute a resolution to do that, to formally enter into the grant program as well. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you. And I also, as president of the board, had to sign off for that agreement. And I'm really excited about the fact that more of our offenders can stay local. And so I was very proud to sign that. But at this point, we need a resolution to confirm it. Any discussion?
No, happy to support.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 4.
Second,
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes,
Commissioner Reese.
yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Let's see, we are on to by leave number 5. By leave number 5 is a resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into an agreement between the Board of County Commissioners and HCDC. This relates to the next round of our small business program through the CARES Act. So I've asked Assistant Administrator Holly Chrisman to provide an overview of this program. And if there are any questions, I know Holly and Harry Blanton from HCDC is here as well.
Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon. I'm
Afternoon.
really happy to bring this by leave before you today. As Administrator Ludo mentioned, this is to an agreement with HCDC to administer our 3rd round of small business grant assistance. It's in the amount of $4.3 million. So funding of this, as Mr. Ludo mentioned, does come from our remaining CARES Act dollars from 2020. The board may recall that previously you amended our CARES Act plan to allow for this 3rd round, and which then allowed us to bring this contract forward for approval today. Just as some additional background, of the 4.3 million, 4.1 of that will be available in grant funds to small businesses that meet the criteria. We are looking at, similar to our first 2 rounds, up to $10,000 in reimbursement grants for eligible businesses. The remaining $200,000 will be for staff time and administrative costs for not only HCDC, but they are bringing on 2 additional partners, the Urban League, as well as Plant Moran, to provide help with processing applications. And Plant Moran will provide technical accounting assistance if need be in the review of applications. So right now we are working closely with HCDC to finalize the application and finalize the requirements for this program, and do anticipate posting the overview the first week of September, with grant applications going live in mid-September and being due the end of September. But we will finalize those dates and get you specific dates in the coming couple of weeks. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or bring up Harry Blanton with HCDC if there are questions for him.
Thank you so much, Holly. Just a comment, just really, we're all supporting the small businesses, which is really a trickle down effect, because then you employ people that can help their families even more. So this is just a great third round. I did want to ask about the length of time that people get to apply, whether or not the committee could consider maybe a longer length of time, because, you know, as you know, it takes time to advertise it, get it out, people know about it, and it may just, you know, it's like a 2-week turnaround. If there's any way we could look at just expanding it a little longer for people that may not even see that advertisement, but I'll open it up. Vice President Reese.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to reiterate that this is critical because small businesses continue to suffer. And every day we're losing some small businesses throughout our county. I just saw in North Fairmount, Jewel Soul Food had to close. And so, you know, these type of dollars are critical to kind of help them get over the hump. And, you know, COVID is still out here. It hasn't really gone away. And people are still financially struggling, particularly the small businesses. So I am happy to support this continuation, some additional dollars for small businesses as we look at a larger picture of as we move forward. I'm looking at our going forward budget to create a small business, an office of small business, so that we could connect to the dollars we have, connect to the navigators that we just put together, but also connect to other resources that might be out there and help people navigate through those as well. So happy to support this, excited to get it out and get it to the people as quickly as we can, those who are ready to go. And I will say that at the Relief-a-thon that we hosted back in March, the data came back from United Way. We had the call system up for 2 hours. And in the 2 hours, the two things that came up the most, rental assistance at about 40% of the calls, and about 38% was for small business help. So we're in line with the needs that are out there. And so I'm happy to support this.
Thank you. And I just wanted to mention, as it relates to HCDC, they've been in the grind from the beginning. They have coordinated things and worked with us and adjusted guidelines and rules. And I just appreciate your continued service, because it's always good to keep the same people in the room, if you can, that are aware of what our goals and visions are. So we'll let you come up for a minute when Commissioner Driehaus makes her comments.
Thank you, Madam President. Holly, thank you for bringing this forward. I'm looking forward also to getting this money out on the street. In the rounds 1 and then round 2, we made some adjustments related to what we had heard from the small businesses that were applying. We also heard from the African American Chamber, the Urban League, and others. And so I'm wondering, are there changes related to round 3 that are different from what we were doing in round 2?
Yes, if you don't mind, Madam President, to answer just a few questions that I've heard, but to start with you, Commissioner Driehaus. Yes, we've learned and we apply those lessons learned without a doubt. So we did make changes in the second round. We are making changes to the third round. The biggest, most, I think, impactful change is we are not going to require closeout reports, which we did with the first 2 rounds. We're asking for that information up front in order to really have a much more streamlined process. So I think that's one of the first and foremost improvements that we're making to really just make it simpler on the front end for not only HCDC and the Urban League to review, but also for the small businesses to be kind of one and done, not have to come back and report out. We've put some protections in place there. I will also say one thing we did here in the first and second round, and this, Madam President, is to your question as well as Vice President Reese, is there was a lot of hand-holding that we wanted to do the first and second round, because this is new for a lot of the small businesses. These were new grants. And as you all 3 know, we started a small business assist program, the 513 assist program with navigators. And so they are on board and they will be ready to help walk through the application process with the small businesses that may need help, as opposed to putting that on someone like HCDC to do that, as well as funnel through applications. We have a separate group of partners to be able to provide that one-on-one assistance that is so needed that we saw in the first and second round. So those are two examples, I think.
And can you just remind the amount of money that is available for the businesses? And also remind folks, because this was a change from 1 to 2, the nexus with the PPP money from the federal government.
So yeah, so we have 4.1 million available in grant funding through this agreement. And we are, because we're looking at, you do have to have a revenue loss, which we had in the first and second rounds due to COVID. We don't have restrictions on if you've received PPP in the past or if you've received other funding. We just have to make sure that anything that we reimburse is not duplicating a benefit. And we have some protections in place to do that.
Is it 10,000 per small business?
Yeah, up to 10,000.
Thank you.
So with that, like again, and Madam President, we are open to extending the deadline, of course.
Okay, thank you. And I heard you say earlier, Holly, it's actually 4.3, but the 4.1 is the actual money that can go out to the small businesses. So, and I have observed from the people that have talked to me that the approval process is fairly quick, but actually getting the money is where the delay is. So, and so that I'm sure you guys have seen that and you're looking at how we can actually get it in their hands a little quicker. So
We're actually reducing it by at least 10 days through some process improvements
great.
from when the county
Mhm.
gets the request from HCD and to get that check out. So we've streamlined
Great.
that as well.
Great. Okay. Hello, how are you?
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and thank you very much. I'm Harry Blanton from HCDC. We appreciate you entrusting this very important program with HCDC. As you know, we have a long history of working with small businesses, and we're very proud to be able to continue to help these small businesses. I would reiterate what Holly said about the 513 Business Assist as one of those resources to help these small businesses apply. But I would also recommend that they go out to the website, the county website, when it goes live. It'll be live for a couple of weeks before the application process. So it'll explain to them what documents are needed. So they'll have 2 weeks before we even go live with the application so that they know what's needed and they can collect those documents beforehand. I would stress their tax returns is the biggest one. So that's just, I'm happy to answer any questions, but we're really thankful for this program and your support in it.
Thank you so much for your work. No further discussion. I'd like to.
Can I ask one further
Yeah.
question? I apologize. Just one last thing. How do we expect to promote the program so that people know that that it's happening?
Yes, great question. 'Cause that's very important. So we are working with both Bridget Doherty as well as Tricia with HCDC to put together that plan. But we do anticipate a launch that will be announced when the program overview goes on the website, as Harry mentioned. But we have at least, I think, 2,000 businesses on our distribution list that are anxious to be notified of when this occurs. And we do potentially have a little bit of money for marketing dollars we could use. But we have email, press, media relations, all of our partners were so critical to getting the word out, especially in that second round. If you look at our first round last year, we awarded 217 businesses. The second round went up to almost 600. So we're hoping to even grow further on that with this third round.
Thank you.
And Holly, you guys don't give yourselves enough credit because you're saying you and Bridget and everyone is going to put together a plan. You already had a plan. You're just going to expand on the plan to make it more efficient. So you had a good plan, but we want to meet more people. Okay, thank you so much. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 5.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. By leave number 6 in front of you is a resolution authorizing the employment of special counsel under the Ohio Revised Code. The County Prosecutor's Office is responsible for designating and employing outside counsel where needed for various purposes. This particular agreement relates to outside counsel for bond counsel for our upcoming sales tax refunding, which is actually an item on the consent agenda today. This employs Dinsmore and Scholl under the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office as outside counsel for that sales tax refunding. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 6.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. By leave number 7 in your packet is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of County American Rescue Plan dollars to allow for $100 incentives to county employees who can demonstrate full proof of vaccination against the COVID-19 virus. As the board is aware, we are currently in the depths of the expansion of the Delta variant, which we've seen as recently as Tuesday from Health Commissioner Kesterman, continuing to expand the hospitalized population as well as those in ICU. We are seeing increasing infection rates amongst the unvaccinated and even breakthrough infections of vaccinated. But when we've seen those breakthrough infections, we've seen that the vaccine has largely kept people out of the hospital, out of the ICU, off ventilators. And as we are bringing employees back into the buildings, we're bringing customers back into the buildings. We want to recommend every strategy we possibly can to make sure as great a percentage of our population is vaccinated as we possibly can, so that we can protect them, we can protect their families, and we can protect the customers and residents who come into our county buildings. So this is an effort to make sure that everything we can possibly do, including a financial incentive, as we are doing with members of the public as well through different means, but that we are implementing everything we can to get as much percentage of our workforce population vaccinated as quickly as we can. Should the board approve the resolution, we would begin to roll out some administrative procedures on this tomorrow in terms of setting deadlines for people to get vaccinated, et cetera. So with that, I recommend approval. Happy to answer any questions. We also have Frank Spataro from Human Resources here. There's some additional questions also.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Any discussion, Vice President Reese?
Yes, thanks, Madam President. Certainly support this and looking forward to moving forward on it. I did get an email as being a county employee ourselves that there was a partnership and a mammogram bus was coming in. I say all that to say that passing this, I think it would be great if possibly one of those days, at least that the 513 relief bus could maybe pull up somewhere that the employees could get to, and they could come out on their break or lunch break, just making it accessible right there as a one of the things that I'd like to see added to this as well. So I just think that would be a good thing. And I got that idea when I got the email that we have a partnership with the mammogram bus that's pulling up. I thought this might be something as well that we could provide. I also understand possibly some of the city of Cincinnati workers were looking for some place that they could go to. So maybe there's a place downtown around this area with our workers, and their workers could also assess it. But I think this is a good thing and look forward to supporting it. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, I'm happy to support this resolution.
Thank you. Frank, did you want to make any comments? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your work in this effort, Frank, to move this forward also. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 7.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. The next item on your agenda is by leave item number 8. This is a budget adjustment for number 29 for Banks Project Phase 3C. This essentially is an administrative item just to formally establish the project for Lot 28, which programmatically also includes the public park that has been designated as the Black Music Walk of Fame. So this just establishes that fund in the project and allows us to start to advance contracts, et cetera. So the administration recommends approval. Also, I should note, Phil Beck is here if there are any specific questions, but I do recommend approval.
Thank you so much. Any conversation, Vice President Reese?
No question.
Commissioner Dreehouse. I'm glad that we're doing it and putting the money toward it. Phil, did you want to say something? I figured you would.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Madam President. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So we just got to go full bore on this project. We have July 23rd at 2 p.m. is our ribbon cutting next summer. So we got to get moving.
July the 23rd.
Yes, that's the same weekend as the Music Fest.
Okay.
That's on the books. So Yeah, so we're targeting that as the opportunity for the ribbon cutting.
Okay. What is it? Am I confused or what?
We are engaged with the design team and the construction management team and working through what lot 28 will be and working on expedited procurement.
Okay. Is it just me? But I thought, are you just saying what we did in the past, July the 23rd? Is like, is this August?
I beg your
Okay.
pardon?
That's okay. Maybe it's just me. So, all right,
Madam President,
Uh-huh.
we were saying we were trying to get it open for the music festival. Has been down for 2 years, and we had said when we were presenting this, we wanted to try to get it open for the music, by the music festival. Would be another tourist attraction. When we first introduced this, was saying we were trying to get it open by the music festival because we're creating a music corridor. And that'll be something else that the CBB and everyone else can sell to try to get people back. So they gave the dates out, they came out with the dates. And so that's kind of the date he's trying to work backwards to just see if we can get it
Please
done.
don't
by
work
the-
backwards. We're moving forward.
No,
I
no.
understand what you're saying.
I learned that from Phil. He said in construction, they work with the deadline of completion and then work their way back to this to put the plan together. And I just want to take this moment really to tell Phil, his team, working obviously under the leadership of our administrator, Jeff Aludo. He's been working really hard on this, and we've got Finley Market. So we got some big pieces that will be coming out next year. But I just wanted to thank him and his team for all the hard work and also for his muscles to get those stars lifted up in the air. Because those things are what, 200 pounds? 200 pounds. So just wanted again to thank you and your team.
Ditto, yeah, really, really hard work. Commissioner Dreehouse. No? I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 8.
Second. Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Commissioners. The impressive thing is Phil carries one of those in each hand. And it's really a sight to see. So, just if you could pardon the digression quickly, Commissioners. I did just also want to say back on the issue of the incentive for county employees, and I mentioned the expansion of the Delta variant. And I know in conversations I've had with Commissioner Kesterman, the variant is actually moving through the unvaccinated population much more quickly than the original did. So all the more reason why timing is urgent on that. I just wanted to make that note publicly as well. So
Thank you.
moving on, by leave 9 is a resolution approving the tentative collective bargaining agreement between Hamilton County Board of County Commissioners and the Internal Union of Operating Engineers Local 20, representing the facility maintenance workers 1 and 2, HVAC technician and lead HVAC technician. This was served case 2020 MED 010025. The administration recommends approval.
Thank you. Any discussion on by leave 9?
Madam President, I just want to commend Frank, the negotiating team, and the union. I want to thank both of them working through it. I know it was very difficult. And also want to just thank our board because we certainly said, hey, let's keep trying to work. We support our workers. We support our workforce. Let's try to get there. And we didn't throw in the towel, nor did they throw in the towel. So just wanted to say I'm happy where we are today, being able to work together and come back with a deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Dreehouse. I'd like to make a motion to adopt by leave 9.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners. And my final by leave, I believe, for today is by leave 10. This is a resolution declaring a state of emergency due to COVID-19. We talked about this a bit in staff meeting on Tuesday, but this essentially re-ups the declaration of emergency, which had expired, that the board had put in place due to COVID-19, given, again, the expansive rate at which the Delta variant is progressing in the community. This reestablishes that declaration of a state of emergency on behalf of the community. So the administration recommends approval.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. And we certainly, as a board, as we said, as Jeff has indicated, that we want our community to know how serious this Delta virus is. And also, COVID-19 has not gone away. And so actually, the state of emergency ended in June because, as things were getting better. But we thought as a board, it's time to just put it in the forefront again for those who they think that it's going away and it's ended. But there are more people, as we know, that are being impacted. So this was an effort to do that. So I'll open it up for any other discussion. Well, you guys have gotten quiet all of a sudden, huh? That's okay. So I'm going to make a motion to adopt by leave 10.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you so much, Jeff. So we'll go to our regular agenda. Hi, Todd. Good
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
afternoon.
Todd Long with the Hamilton County Engineer's Office today to present to you. Appreciate your accompanying me through this meeting. So item 1 is a resolution authorizing a bid award for the 2021 resurfacing program. We've got resurfacing projects scheduled in Anderson Township, Coleraine Township, Harrison, Miami, Springfield, Sycamore, and Whitewater Township. The funds for this particular project are going to be coming from the Road and Bridge Fund and the Permissive Auto Fund. We're happy to announce that the winning bid was below the engineer's estimate, and the estimated completion date for this particular project is going to be December of 2021 before the asphalt plants are closed. Are there any questions on this item? I'd be happy to entertain them.
Thank you. Are there any questions on item 1? Hearing none, I make a motion to adopt item 1.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Item 2 is a resolution for an intergovernmental agreement with Sims Township for the construction of improvements to Kemper Road. This is a construction project where we are going to be in the vicinity of work that Sims Township is going to be doing and partnering with their resurfacing program. The total expenditure for this is $385,000 coming out of permissive auto funds. If there are any questions on this item, I'd be happy to entertain.
Are there any questions?
No.
Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 2.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 3 is a resolution approving the agreement with the property owner for the purchase of right-of-way parcel in connection with the Hopper Road Culvert Improvement Project. It's for a total of $2,500. We needed to extend some of the right-of-way to deal with the outlet end of a culvert and really place the proper amount of stone, or what we call riprap, so that there would be mitigate any erosive forces. It's approximately 653 square feet of total surface area.
Thank you. So Todd, the property owner, how much are they paying? I see the 2,500, that's for us. How much are they?
That's
paying?
for us to compensate them for the use of that particular property to obtain
use
the
of it.
easement for the use of that property. So they are not paying anything. at all.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 3.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 4 is a resolution for the intergovernmental agreement with Anderson Township for the construction and maintenance of improvements for Bridle Road from Little Dry Run to 8 Mile. This is an OPWC match project. We're basically with this particular adjusting the project to a total amount of $75,000. There's a portion of the project that has been removed, which is some sidewalk work that Anderson Township is going to be participating in. And we need to keep the local match, shifting it back over to the county to keep this on par with the OPWC application.
Okay. Thank you. Any comments? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 4.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas.
Yes.
Commissioner Reese.
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5 today is the 2021 thermoplastic and epoxy pavement striping program. This is a resolution to put this project out to bid so that we can solicit bids for this project. This particular line striping is a more durable product than our typical water soluble paint product that we use. So these often get used in areas where there's a lot more traffic in nature. So we are, again, this particular bid, the engineer's estimate is $408,258. And this is going to be coming out of the Road and Bridge Fund.
Oh, okay. Very good. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 5.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you. Item 6 is a bid award for the 2021 Guardrail program. This particular project is located in Anderson Township, Coleraine Township, Green Township, Springfield Township, Sycamore Township, Sims Township, and Whitewater Township. One of the themes today is we're spreading all this around all the townships and, throughout the county. So the bids were solicited and opened on June 17th, and we are happy to say that we came in at the amount shown at $286,175 as a winning bid, and that the funding is going to be coming from the Road and Bridge Fund as well. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to adopt item 6.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
thank you,
Appreciate your
thank
time.
you, Todd. We have quite a few consent agenda items, and I had really kind of laid out which ones were which, but I'm going to kind of change what I'm doing and I'm sure that both of you have read through the consent agenda items. And so I'm going to make a motion to receive for the record. Oh, well, before I do that, let's see if there's any questions as it relates to the items to receive for the record. Any specific questions?
I have a question on item 14, but it is passage.
Okay. Do you have anything? Okay.
Is this the receive part, or are we doing? the consent
Receive for the
agenda?
record. Are there any questions? It's item 7, 8, 10, 22, 25, 26, and 27.
Yeah, I have no issues with it.
Okay. No further comments. I'd like to make a motion to adopt or to receive for the record items 7, 8, 10, 22, 25, 26, and 27.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you. So we have before us items for adoption. Commissioner Dreehouse, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you, Madam President. Item number 14 is related to the sales tax, and it's a humongous number. And so I asked John Brugan, Budget Director, about this, and Administrator Aludo, just so I could better understand it. And evidently, we're saving some money here for the county. And so I just wanted to highlight it and have a further explanation from the administration related to that.
Sure.
Madam President, happy to address that. However, Assistant Administrator Bergen has walked into the room. And so I would defer to John. John, we don't get John's presence all that often in the meeting. So John, could you walk through the refunding opportunity here, including the net present value savings and the debt service savings?
Sure. The refunding, we see refundings usually about 10 years after we do an initial issuance. So this was bonds related to the stadiums that were issued in 2011. We have a 10-year call on them. So we're refinancing those bonds. Obviously, rates are very good right now. We're estimating about a $16 million savings over the next 11 years by doing this refunding. So it'll amount to averaging out to about $1.5 million a year over the remaining life of these bonds.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight when we've got something this positive on our agenda, I wanted to make sure that it was noted. So thank you, John, for the explanation.
Thanks, John. And actually, the resolution itself reads Resolution number 27, providing for the authorization, issuance, and sale of sales tax refunding bonds of the County of Hamilton, Ohio, in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $70,500,000. So I just wanted to be specific so people know what we're speaking about. Commissioner Reese.
Madam President, certainly a huge highlight of us anytime we're saving money. We love that. We love to save money for the taxpayers. In addition to that, certainly wanted to make sure and I think this is the right one, highlighted Loop Capital is a minority-owned firm. And I think this is the first time ever that we had a firm, minority-owned firm, participate in this. Will you maybe highlight that as well?
That's right. It's the first time a minority-owned firm is senior underwriter on one of our issuances. Loop has actually been in our pool for a while. They've been a co-manager on previous issues with the sewer district. But this is the first time we've seen a senior underwriter as an MPE, which is wonderful news.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Any further questions? At this point, I'd like to make a motion to adopt items 9, 11 through 21, and 23 and 24.
Madam President. I'll second it and come back. Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes,
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
thank you. So that will complete our consent agenda items. At this time, I'd open it up to our commissioners if there are any additional questions or comments. Vice President Reese.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I have several comments. One, wanted to just, I know Commissioner Dreehouse had mentioned it earlier, but also wanted to say that I was also at the ribbon cutting today of the roundabout with the city of Montgomery, and was happy to be there to represent the county. And this was a positive event, so I just wanted to highlight that. The other thing I wanted to say is happy birthday, belated birthday to Buddy LaRosa. Birthday was yesterday, I believe, and I think he's 91. So we're having a resolution, and all of us could sign to at least send him a happy birthday. Buddy LaRosa has done a lot for our city and our county over the years, and certainly his work with youth. So certainly want to acknowledge him as one of the pillars in our county and say happy birthday, Buddy. The other thing I wanted to say, you still got time to get to City Links. If you're watching us live right now, the 513 Relief Bus and JFS are at City Links. I had a chance to go by there, and we're having a rental and utility fest, if you will, where they're right there. I got to see them. They're taking people's applications on the spot, walking people through the process, trying to help people keep their lights on and keep their rent paid. And I will say this, no one should have, there should not be one couch on the curb, one TV sitting on the curb, or one household with lights is out, because we have help and we're here to try to help people. So you can go down to City Links, 800 Bank Street. You can also get the vaccine. And I was down there, and you all would be happy to know that we actually ran out of vaccine. They had to go get more. So people are getting vaccinated. And also the bus was in College Hill this week for 2 hours and did 22 vaccinations, which was huge. So again, people have time to get to City Links, or they can go to our website, 513relief.org. And they also have the $100 incentive card with them today. I also got a chance to go to Princeton High School District for their community and business partner breakfast with students. They got a chance to talk to some of the students and interact with them. And they got to ask us questions, and they had some tough questions, but it was really, really good to be a part of that, and just really wanted to make sure I acknowledge them. My last thing I wanted to say is that in our report that our administrator gave us, we certainly got a lot of work to do. I know that there's a Croson study that we're looking into, but there are things that we can do. And I've talked about this before publicly as well as with the administrator. And there are some things that have been moving that we can do as it relates to minority businesses now, while we're waiting on the Croson study. And I just want to say that the administration is working, and certainly more to do, but are moving in that direction. And in his report, we talked about Loop Capital that was able to be a part of that. DNK Architect is a part of our Finley Market garage project. Trenton Services, which is a building repair services. River City Furniture is doing furnishing for Hamilton County JFS. SRL Consulting, Steve Love Consulting, they're doing consulting for our Croson study. Megan Construction is doing A&D interior door replacements. And certainly one of the things that's important is a lot of times people get their foot in the door, do some work, get a relationship, and be able to build from there or even use that to get other contracts in the future. So we got a lot of work to continue to do, but these are some things that are moving forward as we are waiting for the Croson study to come back. So I just wanted to highlight those things as well, Madam President, and that's all I got.
Thank you. Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yeah, just one thing, just to piggyback, related to the 513 relief bus. I recently read a report, and we get these reports, I'm trying to remember the context of it, as to the zip codes that are the most unvaccinated in our community, and they're always the same. It's the South Fairmount, North Fairmount, Roll Hill is one of them. And so we've got communities in the city that are consistently showing up as hard to reach for vaccine. And I'm wondering, since the relief bus is capable of moving around both outside the city and inside the city, if we might make an effort, and I don't know if it's already been done, to reach out to those communities who are especially hard to reach, and if not received enough vaccine to get off that list of the most unvaccinated, and see if there's an opportunity there as we move forward, especially with the gift cards now. We've got this added incentive. And so I don't know if that has already taken place, and maybe I should ask Aisha that question, or if we can get a report out perhaps on kind of where the bus has been and is going. And then if we can emphasize some of those harder to reach communities that continuously are under vaccinated compared to every other community in the county.
Madam President?
Yes, sure.
I just want to say that is good. In fact, if you go on our website too, they do a pretty good job listing where they're going, but that's where they've been. And certainly more can be done, but we've been in the village of Roll Hill. I was there with them. They've been in other areas. And I think what they work with Commissioner Kesterman. So the 513 relief bus is going to the hardest areas. And they're coordinating with the vans that are going kind of more to some more creative areas. So that's what they've been doing. That's why when we say 22 in one of those zip codes is pretty big. But that's where they kind of started out, is going to the hardest areas. Sometimes these conversations are 20, 30, 40 minutes to convince somebody to actually take the shot. And then when they do, they do. So that's why I asked Aisha I think they're preparing a report. And I asked to include the time, because you can't just do the numbers. The first group was easy. Everybody was looking for the vaccine. So all we had to do was provide it. So the numbers were big. Oh, we need to be at, the Board of Elections. I mean, they're lined up around the building. What we're dealing with now are the people who don't want it or didn't want it or have a concern about it. And the bus didn't get out until June 19th, because of course, it takes time to get it. We were trying to get it out in April, but June 19th, by that time, there was the mask, we had no mask mandate. We can go anywhere. The summer is open, everybody's out, and it's hard once you got everybody out. People traveling. So they thought it was over, but now the Delta has come in and there are some other mandates. So now we're starting to see, and a lot of people are saying we're waiting for the FDA approval. So it was always these other humps. So, but I asked her to also include the number of time, how long it takes to convince somebody, because it's tough, but there's not people just running out saying, oh man, I'm looking for the vaccine. And people now, you got to convince them. So I asked her to also include that, because I think that's helpful. And I think it's relationship building. And I also think we have some places where people say, well, I'm not here for the vaccine, but I am here for my rental assistance, or I'm here for, so I think at the family reunion, Jobs and Family Services said they serviced like 402 people. That was like a big thing. But then some places they say, I'm not looking for rental assistance, I want the vaccine. So I think that's kind of what makes what we're doing in Hamilton County kind of the model for a lot of places, because they don't have the two together. But those are good points. Those are the zip codes, I believe, that are on the website that they're going to. But I think also we should ask them to include like how long it takes the interaction with the people too, because I think they're doing a really good job of trying to convince them to take it, which is tough.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And I think we should celebrate every time somebody gets a vaccine. I mean, no matter how many. But I think the challenge, or really the opportunity, is that unlike public health, Hamilton County Public Health, the bus can go into the city, unlike the county vans. And so I'll follow up with Aisha, because there is also an obvious piece of coordination with the city of Cincinnati here as well, because these neighborhoods, I think they're all in the city, but they're consistently showing up on the map. And it's like, I wonder how we can get into these communities to try to lower those numbers. I think the same communities are always like 1, 2, and 3. So let me follow up with her. I have been checking the calendar to see where the bus is going. I hope to catch it at some point out in the community. But I'll follow up, and appreciate that we've already been in some of these neighborhoods, and just try to make sure that, especially, I think the incentive makes a big difference. And especially with the incentive, maybe we circle back and try to get these really hard to reach communities vaccinated. So I appreciate the work, and I'll follow up with her. Thank you.
Thank you. The bus has really made a tremendous impact on vaccinations and getting out, and also, as we were saying, for other resources that people are lacking. Just a couple things, and as it relates to the schedule for the bus, I'm sure any commissioner that contacts Greg or whoever's working on that and Aisha will look at the areas that you think should be covered. And it's funny because the map seems a little different to me. I know at the beginning it was predominantly African-American communities. When I looked at it last, it was more West Side areas, because we were trying to work very hard to get African-American communities to just even trust vaccination. So it just seems like it's a little transient now. I mean, what I'm looking at looks a little different, and I was surprised. So I don't know, maybe we're looking at different data. I'm not sure. Just a couple things. August the 31st, we are not in session next week. We're on our summer schedule. But August the 31st, Jordan Thompson, who is a gold medal Olympian, will be here in this room at 1 p.m. so we can celebrate her for her accomplishments. She is on her way the first week of September, I believe, to go to Asia to play. So we had to try to fit it in as well as we could. We're also working on Rose Lavelle, who will be here September the 21st to play a game at TQL Stadium. And we are contacting her to try and recognize her also. So I wanted, the public is invited next Tuesday at 1 in this building. Also, on Monday at 11:30, the disparity study that the county, the first one that we're launching, will launch at the Urban League at 11:30. You can get the address. I don't have it on me, but it's open for anyone who wants to come and give comments about areas of disparity that they think may exist in contracts or any procurement within Hamilton County. That'll be the first one, and then there will be another one. I'll be there for that. I just wanted to make one last comment. As we look at masks in our county buildings, please remember, whoever comes to our meetings, that we are asking that you wear your mask in the meeting and as you come into the building. So we'll make sure that that's posted very well downstairs for those that come in here. But to keep everyone safe, we are asking when you come into this meeting, and everyone has one on, but I'm just saying it publicly that we expect masks to be on in here. That's all I have. So with no further discussion, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Summer Dumas,
Yes.
Commissioner Reese,
Yes.
Commissioner Dreehouse.
Yes.
Thank you.